are driven by the finer things. I see more than materials and wealth. What have you got to give to me? What I don't already give myself. You are driven by the...
Hello, and welcome to a brand new episode of Illuminated DiiSCLAIMER. My name is Sydney, and as usual, I hope you're finding beautiful ways to find illumination on your path. Now, today I wanted to talk about being a human spider, because sometimes we write things down and we don't write them in the right way, or sometimes we fail to write things down at all. But I realized the importance of using spider diagrams to find out more of who you want to be and how you're going to get it. So I'm going to briefly just go through this diagram that I found, and I would recommend that if you can get a journal or a book or something, just at the beginning, just write these things. Just learn how to do the spider diagrams if you don't know how to already, and just use it for different aspects of your life. For example, this is me, yeah? And the best thing about this is I can write many things that I like about myself. Now, I can write that I am charismatic, I am enthusiastic, I am motivational, I'm creative, and I am helpful. Now, the reason I'm writing all these things down is because sometimes we go through days where we don't have faith in ourselves and we don't believe ourselves. I feel the same, and I hope that, sometimes when you do feel this way, you have a good way of seeing perspective in life. But if you don't have a good perspective of seeing what you're capable of, this is why spider diagrams can be absolutely amazing for you. And I use it because if I'm having a bad day, I like remembering the things that I am good at, the things which feel natural to me. And this can, in turn, help me actually realize how I can use my best traits and talents to actually help people, or to find something that I like to do. For example, me doing Illuminated DiiSCLAIMER was because I was writing everything that I was good at or excited to do, putting all my objectives together and realizing that I could use YouTube as an art form to basically express the way that I feel normally and to actually bring my passions to a wider audience. So if you're watching this, thank you for supporting. And if you want to also know more tips about how I deal with things, or how I like to see the world, or tools that I cultivate in order to get the best out of not only my productivity but my happiness, then please write a comment down below. I'll be happy to share some of these things, and I'll say while you're at it as well, please like and subscribe and share to people as well, because this is what makes Illuminated DiiSCLAIMER amazing. It's you watching, so thank you so much for your love, guidance and support. So by writing all the things down, I have a clear roadmap about how my talents can be used in a good way to not only help myself but help others around me. Now, this is one way of using a spider diagram. Yeah. For example, you could also write weekly objectives. Okay. Now, weekly objectives could be things that you wanted to do within yourself, and it's nice because you have a centralized area where you can just write all the things that you want to do for the week. Now, I would say that you could print these off, you can write these down, whatever feels comfortable with you. One thing that I usually like to do is use my whiteboard. That way you don't use a lot of paper. You can take a picture of it when you've written everything, and then you can just refer to your phone. And then next week you just wipe it off and start all over again. So weekly objectives. I could do push-ups. Summer season, you want to get a good body, for example, or you just want to have overall fitness. Do push-ups, 210. Just put 210 there, for example. If you have a whiteboard, you can put in a bracket, I've done 50 so far. Okay? So you can keep good record and good progress. It's all centralized. Walk in, put out of 30 miles for the week, you could put, I don't know, 6 miles, whatever. But it gives you a good point of reference. If you're using a whiteboard, which I strongly recommend, you can just rub it away, and then you can update it accordingly so you can actually see your progress and not one thing, but multiple things as well. So let's just say you're a smoker, non-smoking. Out of 5 days, how much days have you not smoked? This is all different examples, but the most important thing about these spider diagrams is you can rub them out and you can start again, or if you're using a piece of paper, you could just update it with tallies. Okay, I haven't smoked for 3 out of 5 days. 1, 2, 3. On the 4th day, 4. Out of the 5th day, 5. You just update as usual. But as you can see, spider diagrams can be very useful if you are going through something and you wanted to see different aspects. You can write things down in paragraphs or bullet points, but I am a visual learner. I need to just see different things connected to the source. That's the way I live my life. And this can be very useful, you know? Now, as a maths tutor, recently I've had some people completing their exams. Now, if I wanted to learn something, then I can use this to own my skills as well. I write maths here, for example, and then I can write, okay, I need to do fractions. I also need to do bod maths. Also, if you're watching this, I've got a page as well, maths disclaimer. Please check it out. Link should be in the description below. Thank you very much. There could be, I don't feel comfortable at minusing. I don't feel good at multiplication. I just put times tables there. I could put division there. And as I complete them, I could just color them in, or I could just put a cross through them. And as you can see, I get many different objectives. But by crossing off each objective, I get closer to my goal of understanding maths thoroughly. But because it's more visualized, it's just easy to track where you are. Instead of just going through different apps and making things more complicated or writing things down in a bullet point, this could be a great, beautiful alternative just to see the whole wider perspective in life. And one story before I conclude today's episode, I remember looking at my life and introspecting, just seeing how I deal with situations, and I realized that I am an observer. And this is basically how I see things. If some people are arguing, for example, just get angry, for example, talking about different things, getting heated. It could be political, it could be something social, it could be something regarding the family. I usually just put for and against. Now, I want to be someone who is a pacifist. I don't really want to choose sides. I'll rather see the whole sides. And this makes me see, okay, for, these positives represent for, yeah? And then these negatives see against. Now, this can be used if you're trying to, see the side of somebody or try to understand or diffuse a situation. But it can also be used for finding something in the future. Now, if you have jobs, for example, where you have 2 jobs you have to choose from, or you have to choose between your previous job and your future job, then this will be amazing for you. You can just write for and against, and once everything is there collated in a good way, what can you do? You can actually weigh out the options much more simpler. You want to get a new car? What are the pros of this car? What is against this car? You want to move out of the area? What's the key about living in this area, or what's bad about this area? You could use these things as a good tool to weigh down your options and give you more free mind. Because if you don't have things like this, sometimes you think about it and you usually think of the worst case scenario. You might overthink, for example. But by writing things out and actually giving clear and balanced content to both sides, you understand and you will actually appreciate that eventually. Actually, maybe I shouldn't have been thinking about it too deeply. Maybe there are cons to this. I don't think I should do it. Actually, this is a good idea. You start thinking about these things and I would just say before I conclude the episode, if you can get a whiteboard, please get a whiteboard. They're relatively cheap. You don't have to get a massive one. Just something where you can write down constantly, take pictures, and then do things like this and just give your mind some more breathing space, so to speak. So this has been a new episode of Illuminated. Disclaimer, I've been Sydney and you've been amazing. And until the next episode, please keep on finding beautiful new ways to illuminate your path. Take care now.